Excuse me, we're going to call the meeting to order. First with a moment of silence, if we may. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, with liberty and justice for all.
Brenda, can I have you to Sharon, here. Carol Bullish. Here. John Bennett.
Here.
Carol Severi. Here. Everyone was provided with the August 19th regular board meeting minutes and September 4th special board meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the August 19th board minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I make a motion to approve the September 4th minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We will move on. Given a brief report here. Let's see. The Westfield Fire Department report, as provided to me by Jason Stoffaker in the village, indicates that they completed pre-planning visits with 3 local camps in our fire service area. They conducted a fire safety educational event at Camp Wakanda. They had 7 fire calls in the month of July. I had asked Jason to clarify how many were in the town. We definitely know about the Stevenson fire, but he has not provided me that detail. Chicken barbecue was successful. Helmet lights and SCBA batteries were replaced. They received a We Energies grant awarded for a new Sensit 3 gas meter. That. A vehicle from Tri-County Paving had an oil leak in front of the building. And I believe the sheriff's department was contacted. The oil leak was cleaned up. And so I just wanted to make you aware of that in case anyone witnessed them being out in front of the building. We had the 5 towns annual recycling meeting. Those present approved a 5-year recycling renewal plan. There's no cost increase. Was a pretty fast meeting, just lasted a few minutes. That's an update on that. Let's see. I had to attend the Marquette County Hazard Mitigation Planning meeting. This is a meeting that occurs every 5 years. And the hazard committee, basically, mitigation planning meeting is to outline areas where the towns, the cities, villages could be seeking grant funds, reimbursements through FEMA. And there was a lot of conversation, just confirming what was in the past 5-year plan. I think the major change was that the administrator from the Westfield high school, appeared and questioned whether the repair of the cooling system, the pipes, the valves, everything have pretty much disintegrated. And they estimate it to be around $7 million. And they asked if this would be part of what FEMA would cover, and the response was yes, because the Westfield High School is designated by the federal government as a shelter building in the event of a major emergency. So that would be where FEMA would step in and cover payments. So they're adding it to the plan so that it can be submitted to FEMA when the repairs are completed. So hopefully that would cover the full $7 million. But again, it goes through a reimbursement process and the procedure that they have. So, let's see, what else did they,
Can I ask a question on that?
if I can answer it.
Where,
Sure.
where could we find a copy of that mitigation plan?
None of us have the copy of the mitigation plan. It's in the process of being updated.
Well,
But
okay, this means
Marquette County, Sheriff's Department, who coordinated this kind of meeting, not the sheriff himself, but another officer. They will be revising this. I honestly have never seen a mitigation plan, and the fact that it was done 5 years ago, there was someone from our town who attended. I don't think you were the chairperson at that point in time, John? Or were you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, it was reported that you were gonna update our website, is what they told me. And with the National Flood Insurance Program, there's some kind of a announcement, a flyer that we should have on our website. And I kind of just questioned the fact that we didn't have a website, until last year. So, we're gonna make sure we get that updated. As far as a previous report, I probably would have to request it because unless Brenda would have something in her clerk records, I have nothing in my records about this, nothing. And
But you understand if you're revising a plan or updating it, you have to have a document that you're gonna update, right?
the woman who was coordinating the meeting had a document.
Okay.
We did not all have it. She read from this document, went section by section, and then if any town or village or city had something they wanted updated on there that could possibly fall under FEMA coverage,
So this
then she
woman,
updated this garment. It was not anything that was
So-
distributed.
so this woman has a name and she works for who?
Her name is Lenora Borchardt, I believe. And again, there was no agenda, I have no report, I couldn't tell you. We all received a notice, a simple notice that said, Marquette County Hazard Mitigation Planning. Marquette County Sheriff's Office, hope to see you there. I'm assuming she is tied in with Marquette County. That's really all I can tell you. And we'll move on. Let's see. Levi Holly matter. I did reach out to the Highway Department and ask for confirmation on whether, you may recall this is the gentleman who had an accident on Edgewood Court, and the Highway Department had to repair a damaged fire sign and a culvert. Costs were approximately $3,042.73 that the town paid. Brenda Peterson, as the highway accountant, mailed a letter to Mr. Holly, and there has been no response.
No, I mailed it as the clerk.
I'm sorry, I said highway accountant. That's why I said that, I'm sorry. Okay, so I asked if there's a follow-up letter or anything that is done, does the highway department do it, and the answer is no. So I have pretty much just prepared a letter, basically forwarding a copy of this, asking them to contact us to advise if he's turned this into his insurance company or
Sharon, can I
not.
say something? I was in contact with.
I'm sorry, we're not taking public comment.
Okay,
Um,
well,
that's what we're required to do.
well,
So if you're are you his insurer? Is your company his insurer?
no, but I'm a very good friend of his, and there was a lot of stuff going around today because of the agenda, and so they know I'm coming to these meetings, and they wanted me to represent them.
I'm just reporting that we have to do
And
a
I
follow-up letter.
am telling you what I know. State Farm sent out, or processed it September 9th. It takes up to 10 days to get it, so the town will get it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll move on to the agricultural community engagement meeting that was held in Lodi. I attended that meeting. John Bennett attended that meeting. I'm gonna ask, do you have a brief update? Can you just, this was new for me. The majority of people there were town elected officials.
Yeah, this is a collaboration between the professional dairy producers of Wisconsin and the Wisconsin Towns Association and Wisconsin Counties Association. They have these, basically they have it on the farm, get people out the farm and get tours, and they basically discuss the same topics, and they work together on all these topics to improve the, as far as the roads in the country and the farms, and, you know, it's kind of a meeting amongst people, amongst town association, counties association, professional dairy producers
My
association.
impression was that they were looking for, more feedback from elected officials to try to improve the relationship between these organizations. And they had a lot of speakers. Thank you, John. I attended the Wisconsin Towns Association Fall Workshop in Stevens Point. There was a big focus on budgets, tax levies, legislative information. I pretty much focused on clerk and treasurer information, only because neither Carol nor Brenda were able to attend. And I wanted to bring them updates on any changes, and I will share that information with them. That concludes my chair's report. We will move on to the clerk's report. Clerk's report. Do you have one?
Sure. I am testing the voting. There is a pre-lat test and then the public test tomorrow from 5 to 7. And I'll be here collecting absentee ballots. And then the recall election is on September 24th. The absentees for the general election have to be sent out, they have to be postmarked by September 19th, so that is Thursday. And then we are very low on checks. So I guess I was asking the board, the last time it looks like they ordered from Deluxe. Do you want me to reorder from Deluxe, or do you want me to get them straight from the bank?
Is there a difference in price?
I didn't check the price of the bank.
The bank uses Deluxe,
Do they?
I'm pretty sure. But I guess you should probably check on it and
I mean,
make the
I think I
decision
only
that's
have like
most economical. for
10,
the
yeah, I
town.
will do that, whatever's
That's the
most
best.
advantageous for the town. But we're down to like 10 checks left, so I will get those ordered.
The question has come up on the election. What are the poll hours for the polls to be open?
7 to, is it 8?
7.
7 to 8 p.m.
Is it posted outside?
I couldn't find a posting anywhere, that's why I started asking. I thought that
It's
the
normal.
standard,
It's
I
normal.
thought the standard
election.
state was 7 in the morning till 8 at night.
Yeah. It is, it's standard. That's all I have.
Treasurer's report?
As of August 31st, 2024, our income was $381,897.55. Our expenses was $189,307.10. The bank statement reconciled balance is $415,773.91. The contingency fund is $35,305.29.
Motion approved.
I will second that motion. Any discussion? Seeing as there are none, all those in favor?
Right,
Aye.
Stay.
Motion passes. 2-1 majority. Anything else, Carol? No? Thank you. Okay, we're gonna review and approve the voucher report.
Voucher report is a grand total of $355,197.60. The gasser bill has been given to a copy of it, it's in here, but a copy of it has been given to the highway department. It has been submitted for reimbursement for that $140,000. I only did pay the trip project. I didn't wanna cut us short with the bank. So I only paid the trip project from the August bill. So that check is written, then I can give a copy of that to the commissioner and he can get that submitted for reimbursement. I believe that's like $12,000.
So we're waiting, basically what we're doing is, we have 60 days pursuant to the contract with Marquette County to pay their invoices. And so the expectation is that we will have the reimbursement we're expecting from the grant, 50% of the $291,695.12. The anticipation is, it's already been submitted, correct? That we should have that relatively soon. And then, when we get that reimbursement, then those funds would be put towards any balance left with the highway department. And, in order to, again, get the TRIP LRIP project grant reimbursement of $12,160, we had to pay for that project up front.
So if we pay this voucher, we pretty much wipe out our checking account balance. I mean, we're cutting it very close on cash. And now we have to pay for all of the roads that have been done and the roads that you still plan to do. Where is that money coming from? I mean, I think you may be running, I think we're spending more money than we have money.
Well, that's not true, but there is additional, well, you can answer that, where the additional monies are coming in, or I can.
We have shared revenue coming in, $40-some thousand left of that coming in.
We have additional, wasn't taxes collected?
Yeah,
So we
we have a
should-
check, I have a check here to give to Carol.
And how much is that?
I mean, it doesn't look good when we can't pay our bills.
Oh, I not paid our bills.
75,000.
It's another 75. We also have additional funds coming in the categories, what other areas? And most of these monies
The
come in.
transportation aids have not all come in
But what's it, Brenda?
yet. The
Transportation.
transportation aids are
Has
not
not all
all in
come
yet.
So we have a payment coming in for that, okay?
Yes, a lot of this comes in within the next few weeks or so, the majority of it. So, by taking advantage of the 60 days to pay off,
Cause our highway bill was
yeah,
huge this month. It was
Yeah.
140-some
Um,
thousand.
we aren't in any jeopardy of
Oh,
not having,
124.
we are not in any jeopardy of having funds to pay these bills.
Well, you're confident that we have the money coming in to pay all of those.
Well, I have a $75,000 check right here. And then I just got a thing from shared revenue that we're getting another $45,000. I know that all the GTA funds haven't been received yet, because we've only received 77 and we're getting 103.
We get another 145, whatever it is, back.
Okay.
And so, I mean, we are not in any jeopardy. Gas or construction, yes, we cut the check, you just scan and send us a copy in that the check's been cut. And, with changeover and some things they're going through, they haven't contacted me any further for anything. So we're just, we have the check cut for when we mail it. I think Brenda actually is monitoring the funds and what we've got coming in and what we find out very well.
Okay, I have another question on Gasser itself. I thought the bid itself was at $288,000, and this invoice is for $291,000, so they exceeded their bid. Why are we paying more?
I was notified of them exceeding the bid afterwards. Again, I mentioned they've gone through some transition and some problems. So the gentleman who was here at our meeting, when he submitted his bid, misquoted. They actually wanted to charge us another $40-some thousand. And I basically said no, on behalf of the town, the bid was for this amount. The one thing that I wasn't, so they backed off on all of that. The other matter involved the amount of shouldering stone. If you've driven down Eagle, you can see how far it's dropped and rising, so there were some additional costs for that. I had a discussion with Highway Commissioner Brian Trowiatowski, and so the work was already done. We just handled it via simple email communication, and so yes, it ended up being a little bit more, but I absolutely would not agree to $40,000+ of an increased bill.
So if that were to
So
go ahead.
we were allowed to submit for up to, like, what we're getting reimbursed is 50%. So the grant, don't lose sight, the grant was $619,000. So there was easily $309,500 that we needed to stay under to make sure we got our 50% reimbursement. And that amount is still under that number. You could look at the paperwork. So yes, that's what happened.
So you're saying that the contract was really not a contract for $288,000, it's for a contract for $288,000 plus whatever you determine extra.
But the contract allows for adjustments. Again, it's just a bid estimate, and so,
I don't
I wouldn't, they're biting the dust on $40-some thousand, over $40-some thousand because of their mistakes. Which I found was significant and would not agree to. And, keep in mind, this check is cut. We'll sign off on it today, but Brenda is not going to mail that check until, we get notice that it's due to Gasser. And so they're going through their own transition and issues of this job isn't the only one that was affected by Mr. Hart's calculations and estimates and bids, so they're going through a lot right now, and I have no problem with respecting that decision to allow them to figure out what they're doing, where they're at, to get everything in place that they need to do. By issuing the check, we were able to submit that full copy to the transportation department as proof that payment was initiated and to get our reimbursement.
Okay, and then I have one last question. I usually get a copy of the attorney invoice. I didn't get one this time.
I brought one. Brenda, can you address those costs on the attorney bill?
The attorney bill this month was $8,927.20.
I went through and highlighted everything that had to do with the recall election, as you can see. And they came up to, there's a few that I don't know if they're to do with the recall. The ones that I knew for sure, $6,870 of it was recalls.
And there's
At
additional
least.
monies from the previous bill?
Right, I haven't gone
Tied
through,
into
I didn't go
recall.
through and, this one was very significant, so I went through.
There's nothing we can do as a town, you have to consult with an attorney to handle the recall. I'm sorry if you think that's funny, but she had to. She had no option. So,
Isn't there state lawyers that you can talk to?
she also, did you also work with the Wisconsin Election Commission?
Correct.
You also worked with Kylie Lloyd, correct? Brenda did her job, that's the bill so far, and I'm anticipating, I guess, that it's gonna be more. I can't speak to all those charges on the bill because I am not involved.
You can't speak to the ones that say confidential attorney? Like, what's the nature of a, bill that goes between us and the attorney that's confidential?
Off the top of my head, I can say that it did involve recommendations on the alcohol ordinance. So if he sends me drafts or anything like that, he calls it confidential because public records don't have to be provided when drafts and things are discussed.
But we as a board are not being told what's being done, and that's okay.
It's confidential.
The confidential, this is like between you and the attorney, and John and I don't matter.
Carol, you've asked for open records requests many times over the years, over the months, you've done it formally, and we've provided you with what you've asked for. That's where it stands, and, this is the type of billing he's provided to this board for quite some time. And, that's their policy, that's how they prepare their invoices. And Brenda has it to go over, every month before she puts in our voucher report.
There are 2 entries on here to pay Carol, Sperry, and Brenda for their third quarter, is that their third quarter salary?
Mhm.
So why are they getting paid their third quarter salary, and what's happening with the rest of us?
I asked in
I
that
just
email,
submitted mine today.
please send me your payroll.
I believe the memo said, please bring it to the meeting.
No, it said, please send me your payroll, I would have paid everybody this payroll. That's the email I sent. Did you? Cause you sent it to me, that's
Yeah.
what it said, didn't it?
Said send it.
Please send me your payroll.
And I submitted mine today, you did today,
I just did
I saw
that.
you
That's
gave
fine.
it to her, so.
I just was just curious as to, I'm trying to figure out when it happens, and I haven't gotten it figured out yet.
Try to figure out what?
When the payroll's supposed to be done, and when we're supposed to get documents to you.
I would, cause I would like to get you paid at the end of every quarter, so I would like to pay 2024 stuff, like December at the last meeting.
Right, so I have to then mail the stuff to you to be able
Well,
to.
you can email, you can scan it in. That's all Carol did.
So you don't, okay, so you're.
And then bring me
email-
the paper copies to the meeting.
The email's okay for you to process it, and then, okay.
Should we move forward on the voucher report then? Any other questions or discussion?
So moved to approve.
I will second that. Kind of had the discussion before the motion was made. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, we're gonna move on to road repair updates. I know you made some comments, Carol, about roads that are done, roads that aren't, possible future bills. I have gone over this last bill, and I have spoken with Highway Commissioner Ryan Trivia-Towski. The estimates that were made, that we approved at previous board meetings, included the 4th Avenue project here. That cost was projected, including the bid for the actual asphalt from Northeast Construction. The estimated total was $49,000. That actually came in at $49,139.46. So it was $139.46 over Brian's initial estimate.
Where are you seeing that? Oh, yeah, I just found
These
it, never mind.
are mine, yeah.
I just found
The
it.
best thing to look at is probably, because it's got all these things listed on here. Do you have that page? Would have been one of the first pages. You see it?
Yep.
Okay. So then, culverts, we approved $18,500 for repair of 5 culverts. And these were repaired using the new galvanized steel arch culverts at each location. The charges on this bill total $13,881.88. So he was under that one. We approved additional paving from the 3,250 foot mark on 4th here to the culvert at North Elk Avenue. That was estimated at $64,000. We approved that. The charges are $54,861.93. So he was $9,138.87 under budget. We had to add the Eagle Avenue culvert and overlay. The culvert failed on Eagle Avenue closer to a hill going out before you get to 5th. That culvert failed, and so in order for them to complete the repairs and repaving on Eagle Avenue, they had to take care of that. It was a total of $5,435.73. That still left us with being $3,702.34 under what was reported and approved. As you all know, the drainage and failed culvert that occurred by, is that Slowy's? The road caved in. He gave us an estimate of $6,000 to $7,000 that we authorized, and he actually came in at $5,557.31. So if you look at the high end number, he was $1,442.69 under budget. I asked him a few other questions on charges on the bill. There was, under drainage, that was on Elk. There was a washout on Elk that resulted in additional shoulder work having to be completed. It included shoulder repair, rock checks, and flow line cleanout on Elk between County Highway M and County J. We applied the cost of $3,824.35 for that work. We had previously approved $15,000 to be used by Marquette County for maintenance, and this wasn't a road repair, so we applied that to maintenance, so we're still considerably under that. So I did try to break it down so that the board could understand that, yes, they're doing a lot of work for us, but they're also doing it primarily, for the most part, under what their estimated budget numbers are. So I think that's good news. Any questions from the board on road repair updates? They are done with all of the roads that we approved for repair. except for they have to go back and complete the shouldering on those roads. So we have not been billed. Projects aren't done in total until that shouldering is completed.
So there's no additional work can be done, because you said on the list.
We have nothing, no, all those are all completed. We
Okay.
have, there's nothing to my knowledge outside of the normal
They're mowing.
mowing. Of course, when, you know, winter comes, if there's snow plowing, you know, those types of things, but pretty much that's it. We've accomplished a lot this year. All right, Peter and Catherine Kurt. West 8094 Eagle Court, Westfield, raise order. Marquette County zoning contacted me again about this property. We previously reported that this was on Lawrence Lake next to the South Boat Landing. Justin Fetzer and I had gone out and we had looked at the property and we had sent a letter on behalf of the town addressing an old trailer they had there, and the condition of the property. And Peter Kirk did respond to me last year that they were either gonna raise the property, build something new, or sell the property. Well, here we are, a year later, and they've done nothing. So Marquette County zoning discussed with me, and they also pulled in the Marquette County Health Department, and they're working together, and they're going to be preparing a raise order for this property. I just wanted to give you an update as to what was happening. And I don't think Peter or Catherine Kurt are here, so I just wanted to give you an update what's happening there. New business, 2024-25 snow removal. We have a contract with Kevin Berry, he's a citizen of the town. The contract allows for it to renew every year that we want to continue using his services. So, where did I have that? Oh. Okay, I'll get back to that. I spoke to Mr. Berry. He would like to continue. I personally thought he did an excellent job. I think the election poll workers who had a huge storm that day could certainly speak to how many times he came out here and removed ice, removed snow. It was well over 12 inches. And so I'm looking for the board to approve continuing on with his contract for 24-25 snow removal services.
And what's the rate of pay for that again?
The rate of pay is $100 for snow removal and salting sanding per occurrence. In the event of a major snow of 12 inches or above, an additional fee would be negotiated. Contractor will be compensated $25 for salting sanding only, and he would invoice us monthly for any services provided. So what I did last year, Carol, is I provided him a list of any meeting dates here, election dates, any time that we could possibly experience a snow event or a freezing rain, anything like that. So it would carry over, same rates, no change.
I make a motion to renew the contract at the same rates.
Second that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. We have a line on the agenda for budget amendments.
I am requesting to move $15,000 from the contingency to the legislative account, which covers the attorney. Because we are already $1,600 in the hole, and I just told you that we're paying an $8,900 bill.
I would make a motion to amend the budget to allow for a transfer of $15,000 from the contingency to the legislative account. That changes the total for the legislative account to
2,500.
No, it's the 1215 to 26,500 and 1215. 27,795. It'll be 42,795.
See, which legislative, because you got 3 lines for legislative.
It's all legislative.
It's all
It doesn't
legislative,
matter.
we just have it broke down on that budget.
so that you can see the difference. So we currently have $27,715.
795. $715.
And we'll be adding $15,000 to that amount
So it would be a total of 42,715
for
total
legislative.
budget amount.
Okay.
If you take $15,000 out of the contingency balance, that leaves $20,000 in our savings account.
In the contingency fund, yes.
So we have,
That's what the money is there for.
Do
I
you wanna
understand what it's there for, but you also have to have a plan to put it back in, you stop your spending and do something. Because my understanding is that the target number, and I know John has wanted to have money in the contingency, you should have at least 6% of your budget, or 10%, or 15% of your budget in contingency. So if you have a major catastrophe, that you can take care of it. So are we going to, at the next budget cycle, find a way to reduce our expenses so we can restore our contingency account? Because I think we're spending
fully
too much.
expect that the next budget cycle will result in a reduced tax levy recommendation to the citizens of the town. Don't lose sight of the fact that we've already received additional income in several areas. And that balance at the end of the year, the additional funds left in the account will transfer into the contingency fund. So it will grow again.
So, is it fair to say that this discussion can be tabled, so to speak, until our budget meeting next month? When we
No.
see
We need to pay the bills now, Carol.
Let me explain. I
Sure.
understand you have to pay the bill now, I'm not talking about that. But will the budget meeting that we have actually show that yes, we are gonna have extra money to then we'll put back into the contingency fund?
The next budget preparation will be based upon estimates as we're preparing it, knowing what's coming in from state, for GTA, for what else? Shared revenue, those types of numbers. And, assuming there's not another recall next year, those attorney fees are gonna drop. Excuse me, you have a comment? Fire protection services is a number that stays constant. Recycling is a number that stays constant. Cemeteries are numbers that stay constant. The majority of numbers here will be numbers that stay constant on the next budget preparation. You won't know the exact number that's gonna drop into contingency until Brenda processes all that at the end of the year. We can estimate, but that's all it would be, is an estimate. But with all of the additional income will drop into contingency in December.
I
Do you have anything to add?
just don't wanna show a negative $10,000 in the legislative account. That's
And
what
that
I'm
makes
saying.
sense. We have a motion on the floor to amend the budget to allow for a transfer of $15,000 from contingency into the legislative account.
Look at that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
The motion passes 2-1 majority. And let's see, we'll move on to upcoming dates. As has been the policy of the clerk, the upcoming dates typically list board actions, board hearings, board meetings, and we thought it was wise to include the dates for various budget meetings, regular meetings, and then the tax levy meeting, the budget hearing. That's the final approval of the budget by the town board, followed by the electors tax levy meeting, and then the November regular board meeting date. We set these dates where they were mentioned previously at the last board meeting, not the special meeting, but the last board meeting, because we didn't want to find ourselves in a situation which occurred last year, that it truly was the final hour getting the numbers to the clerk and filed with the Department of Revenue. So those are the dates that are listed. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone, for attending.